Facebook and YouTube. It's Jeffrey Howells Carpet Cleaning here, and we got a nice house to clean up today. And walking in, there is a bit of odor down here, and of course there is urine stain galore. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pre-treat all of this stuff using truck mount forms unchained to sit down here in all this urine. And once that is sitting in here and dwelling, we're going to go ahead and use our ULV fogger with some heavy, I think I'm going to use the odor side fresh scent. I know if you put that on heavy enough, it's supposed to take care of dog and animal smell. But again, I'm also going to be misting the walls and the ceiling and all over the place. So I'm really going to, put on the mask, your respirator, and really hit this all pretty heavily down here. And then while this is sitting here and dwelling down here, we're going to be working upstairs just because this will be pretty heavy. And hopefully the that odor side will pretty much stay down here and not float upstairs too much, because it will eventually just fall and settle down on the ground, and then we'll pick it all back up, the extras, while we're doing our steam out. So hopefully, as far as the upstairs is concerned, hopefully we'll be able to breathe just fine downstairs. And there isn't so much, I should point out, walking through, we got run room down here, we got a front room area over there, we got ourselves a bit of a stairway, and then we got 5 bedrooms upstairs. There are some, I think there's pretty much a little bit of urine in every single room, sort of like, you can see it there, and we'll go hunting for it here in a bit. But what I'm going to do, we're going to be doing our 3-phase cleaning process. We're going to start with a good thorough vacuum and just get everything all vacuumed up. And, what I'm going to do is go ahead, pre-vacuum downstairs, treat for urine stains, and then go ahead and put that fogger down really good. And then we'll go ahead and go upstairs and continue on with the pre-vacuum upstairs. So we're kind of be working a little bit in shifts today, and then once the pre-vacuum everything is done with phase 1, and then that's when we'll go back through with our regular pre-spray, put down the pre-spray all over the place. We'll probably, because we're treating all this urine separately, there is a probability that this looks like it was a pretty small dog because the urine spots are so small, that just using a bunch of peroxide in our cleaner probably would have taken care of it anyways. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of peroxide to our cleaner. Again, this is what I use as a base solution. I use the soap-free, and then over here I pretty much add to that chemistry to boost it with anything that is required to get that extra oomph out of the your cleaning capability. So this here's the detonator, is the peroxide. So what we do is we have a base. I've got a few of these made up already in jugs and ready to go. Being a granule form, the longer it sits in the water, kind of the better that it all gets disintegrated and mixed up and ready to go. And then we, on the job site, we look to see what kind of properties and issues with soiling we have in the house, and then we go ahead and we boost our staple clean solution with whatever properties we need in addition to. So that works out very well doing it in that format. For me, being an owner-operated small business, I'm not doing tons of jobs a day, and it's easier for me just to make up the cleaning solution customized on the spot for the cleaning situation. For guys who are banging out multiple jobs a day, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do it that way. But you guys just kind of look at your own business and how you're running things, and just kind of decide what makes the most sense for you. For you guys who are just starting out getting into the business, this is probably a good way to do it because you learn about the chemistry of all your products, and it also will prevent you from wasting, mixing up extra solution and having to dump it out later because you're not going to be using it. I've dumped out a whole lot of stuff first, getting started, and things like your peroxide solutions, that they're kind of a little time sensitive, so you can make it up, but the following day it's probably about half potency or whatever, and you can revitalize it again by adding a little bit more to it. I don't typically like having to revitalize dead carpet cleaning solution or dying carpet cleaning solution. Some guys don't have a problem doing it. For me, I'd rather use the max potential in cleaning the carpets as possible. So, like I said, we're going to go through, we're going to vacuum everything. Once everything is vacuumed, we're going to go ahead and move on to phase 2, which is the application of our pre-spray, and then we are going to agitate, mechanical agitation via our CRB Brush Pro system here. Then we will fire up the truck and give everything a good steam out with our hoses and wands running into the house. Temperature of water probably 230, 235 or so, and PSI, with the amount of urine that's in there that needs a good rinse, we're probably going to be doing a PSI of about 500 today, 450 to 500, and that's in conjunction with the CRB. A lot of guys will say, oh, that's all you're using. I use 600 pounds of pressure, I use 700 pounds of pressure, whatever. The reason why I typically go lower is due to the mechanical agitation, and really this here is the worst of it. So if this is the worst of it, I think we have ourselves a pretty easy cakewalk here. Alright, downstairs phase 1 completed. Now we're moving on to applying the Unchained onto all of these nasty urine spots down here. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pre-treat each and every single individual thing. I've got a couple gallons made up, got enough left over to concentrate to make up a couple more gallons if we need it. I'm hoping that these 2 gallons here will get pretty much everything down here as far as just, briefly saturating all those little spots down here. So moving right along. Okay, we're going to be using Odorcide Fresh, and when you're putting this stuff down real heavy, like what I'm going to be doing, make sure that you're wearing a respirator so you're not breathing this stuff in, because it does get pretty potent. If you're just lightly spraying for a little bit of scent to put in a room to kind of deodorize a little bit, no problem, because it's not offensive or anything, but you can up the concentration on this stuff and use it for more severe things like animal smells and such. So I do like it. I pretty much went with the 16-ounce pint, just to test it out. I really do like it. And I'll probably be ordering a few gallons of it just to have plenty of it on hand, because it works really well. And like I said, as a deodorizer, it really adds that nice, puts the icing on the cake in a room. If you're doing like a luxury style carpet cleaning, it just makes everything pop when it smells awesome in there. It looks awesome and smells awesome. And for those of you who are unaware of what a ULV fogger is, it stands for ultra light volume. So what it does is whatever liquid water-based product that you put into it holds about 1.5 gallons. You can then turn it on and it disperses it out of the machine in a fine mist. And by turning that knob on the nozzle of the machine there, you can adjust the rate of flow that product comes out. We just turn it all the way up and have it come out as a pretty thick fog, pretty wet. We go over all the woodwork, we do a really light misting. Then we go over to the ceilings with the light misting as well. And then we make sure that we cover all of the carpeting. And now this is down here, and it's just going to dwell on the carpet. And we're going to go ahead and move on upstairs. We are done with phase 1, so we're just going to hop on into phase 2 and begin pre-spraying upstairs. And then we'll be taking our CRB here and going over room by room and making sure everything gets a good agitation. So it really depends on the situation. A lot of times I like to go through and pre-spray everything and then go through and agitate everything. And then other times I like to go room by room. Excuse me. It is a little bit thick down here with that odor side. And then other times I like to just go through room by room, and because of the nature of the urine and all that stuff, I'm kind of wanting to make sure that I get all of the spots out of it. And when I'm trying to be as thorough as possible, I will go by room situation, unless you're doing like a light cleaning, and in that case I'm not as particular as monitoring absolutely every single step that I take. But in this case I want to make sure that all the rooms are at their absolute finest, because we are the Clackamas County's finest carpet cleaning, finest residential. Carpet cleaner in the area, so let Google pick up on that and see what they do with it. Looking for a best carpet cleaner. Well, hopefully you'll be searching for a best carpet cleaning in the Clackamas area, and you'll run across Howells carpet cleaning, because that is the point of putting all these keywords and dropping these words into the videos, is to create content that Google is going to deem authoritative at some point, and serve it to users searching for carpet cleaning services in the Clackamas, Oregon area. Alright, and I doubled over this room as well, as far as going over it forwards and backwards, and then going perpendicularly in the other direction. And I am getting dog or cat hair, or one of the two. I think it might be cat hair. More than I think I'm comfortable with, so I think I am just going to go ahead and double over the rooms just to get as much of that out of the carpeting as possible. And again, that is matted hair that is not going to come up with a vacuum. Vacuums just aren't powerful enough to get the matted hair out. However, the long finger-like combs of the CRB are able to go down and sift through the carpeting and pick those hairs up out of the carpet. So it does a pretty good job, and I'm happy with the results that we were able to get just by going over it a couple times. I think we'll do it in the same in the other rooms. Just go over it a couple times. We got two smaller rooms. It looks like I call these units. 1 unit, 2 units, another bottle, 3 units. They're 2-gallon jugs. So upstairs, I'd say we're probably going to end up using about 2 units to do the 4 bedrooms and the hallway here. That is approximately maybe 1,000 square feet. We were kind of discussing earlier on Facebook how far your products go. I would say about 400, and it depends on how wet you're trying to treat too, because your residential carpeting is generally going to absorb more moisture than commercial carpeting, obviously. But if I can get a gallon to go like 300 or 400 square feet, usually I'm doing really good. In this case, we're doing about 1 gallon per room, or maybe a little bit less than that, just because I'm wanting to make sure that we compensate for all of the urine that might be in the carpeting. And so far, so good. It's looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-spray this other bedroom and CRB it out. And then this room over here as well. And then finish up with the hallway. Then we'll make up another unit. We'll probably spend most of another unit just doing the stairways. The stairways is an area that I really like to put on the pre-spray pretty heavily, because I like allowing the chemical to do most of the work, and we're not doing any agitation at that point. We're just letting that chemical sit there in the carpeting, chewing up and dissolving sediments and debris and breaking down residue. And then we go ahead and as we're doing our steam out upstairs and we go down the stairways, we go ahead and extract all that. So in that sense, we overdo the chemical just so that the chemical does all the work and we're not having to rely on agitation. I used to go through with a brush and brush the stairs to give it some agitation, but that was just added a whole bunch of extra time onto the job. And I found out just by putting a little bit more trading chemistry for agitation, we're able to produce the exact same results.